bringing you classic rock through the ages, profiling all genres and subtypes with interviews and reviews. Kaleidoscope Ears will put colour into your music from 6 p.m. Sunday nights. Tune in and drop out. I'm speaking to Mike Mills. He's from Melbourne-based progressive rock band Toehider. How are you, Mike?
Very well. How are you?
Great. I noticed your website touts you guys as a progressive band. Bit different to your classic style progressive rock band. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we tried to incorporate kind of a lot of different styles and genres, and I guess the idea behind labeling us as a progressive band comes from the fact that progressive music seems to incorporate a lot of different styles of music. So I guess that's the motivation and idea behind that.
Yep, so give us a bit of a background behind Toehider. What have you guys been doing over the last few years?
The band started probably late 2008. I put out the first Toehider EP late 2008, which was basically a result of a bunch of leftover songs from my previous band called Template, which, they didn't really seem to fit in with what we were trying to achieve with that band. That was more of a Mars Volta, Coheed and Cambria style sort of band, and I wanted to do something that's a bit more humorous and a bit more kind of focusing on big kind of harmonies and more guitar solos and that kind of thing. So I did the Toehider thing, and from there I think I guess it must have been about April or May 2009. We started a project which was called the 12 in 12, which was basically the mission to try to release 12 albums over a period of 12 months, 12 EPs, I guess is a better description. So we did one EP per month, which is basically a 6-song EP for a year. So that took us through till April 2010, and then this year, September 2011, we put out our first full-length album, which was called Toehider, and I guess that leads us up to the present day.
So were you associated with Birds Robe Collective while you were doing those EPs, or has that come after?
From memory, and I may be wrong, but that may have been when the Birds Robe Collective found out about us through that project.
So how's it been being associated with these guys? Lots and lots of different styles of bands. How's it worked out for Toehider?
It's been phenomenal, actually. The guys at Birds Robe, Mike Sol in particular, has been very active in helping us spread the word in Australia and also in Europe as well. I've got a lot of time and a lot of respect for what the label are trying to achieve. If only they'd been doing it, 5 or 6 years earlier when I first started doing this kind of thing.
Whereabouts in Europe? Is there anywhere specific? I know Anubis is doing quite well in Germany.
Anubis, another great band off the Birds Robe label. We seem to get a lot of attention in Germany and all those sort of places, Hungary, Italy even, So it's been very well received.
So you recently were able to support Unitopia as well?
That's right. Yeah, we did a few dates with Unitopia late September, early October last year. Now I guess, and that was a lot of fun. We did a show in Adelaide and Sydney and Melbourne. It was great experience working with those guys. A lovely bunch of people, and obviously very competent musicians and amazing live performers as well.
What's different about Toehider compared to the other Birds Robe bands?
Well, actually, I was thinking about this earlier. I guess we're one of the more, dare I say, kind of commercially accessible things that are going on there, because there's very experimental things going on the label with bands like a huge fan of the band Pirate, who are predominantly instrumental stuff. I think their new album's got a few vocal things on it. The Sleep Makes Waves, which is another sort of post-rock band who are entirely instrumental. But Anubis, I guess, which are more of a very classic kind of 70s progressive sort of band. And I think, some of the stuff that we're doing lends itself, well, not lends itself, it's sort of more akin to some of the more modern Panic at the Disco kind of sounding things. I guess just in terms of production as well. But there's always that underlying prog kind of link that joins us all.
One thing I really like about you guys is your vocals, and it reminds me of bands like Rainbow and Rush, so you've got similarities to those guys. Did you do any training with your vocals? It's very impressive.
Oh, thank you. I never really got any lessons or did any kind of extensive training other than singing along to old Deep Purple and Iron Maiden albums. Rainbow again, which is a massive influence. Obviously, Ronnie James Dio is a huge inspiration to me. But I guess again Rush. I was always a fan of that the kind of more higher register kind of sounding vocals that just seem to resonate with me a lot more. Never really got any training or anything like that.
A lot of these songs sound like they come from personal experience.
Well, certainly there's a song called Fireside on there, which is very much based on memories I had when I was a child about growing up on the farm and watching my dad being the amazing man that he is. He sort of built the house that I grew up in, and he was always fixing things, and it was quite amazing. And then he was a sort of budding guitar player. He never really got past the open chords, but basic kind of country stuff. And as I got older, I sort of got more and more into playing guitar, and he was always kind of, sort of scratching his head at how I was playing, what I was playing, and I was, in turn sort of scratching my head at the things that he was capable of doing, you know what I mean? So that's, very much so. And, I sort of generally seem to find that writing from personal experience is more interesting place to write from. People seem to be more engaged by that kind of material.
So where'd the name come from? What's Toehider?
Toehider. Again, it's from the imagination of a 4-year-old. My daughter used to talk about this creature called the Toehider, which used to sit at her window, if I'm not mistaken, and used to have two big eyes to it and used to look from left to right. And she wasn't necessarily scared of the Toehider. She used to sort of just speak about it as an imaginary friend. And it was always really, even to this day, even speaking about it now, it's really intriguing what she was talking about, whether it's something that she read about or sort of saw on television. I'm not really sure, and whether she was even trying to say something else at the time. And I've asked her, because she's a little bit older now, and I've asked her on many occasions what she meant, and she doesn't really know. So the Toehider was always kind of a bit of a fascination for me, so I thought I'd write a song about it initially, and then I just thought I'd name the band after that song.
Speaking of artwork too, how important is that for you on the album? It's brilliant artwork. I love it.
Great. Well, I guess the band in itself is a collaboration between myself and Andrew Saltmarsh, an artist that is based in Brisbane. And actually, the title band track, Toehider, was born out of a collaboration in the sense that I'd record a section of the song, maybe it'd be a verse, maybe it'd be the introduction or whatever, and show that to Andrew, and he would sketch ideas out and send them back to me, and we sort of work collaboratively back and forth. I'd sort of get inspired by what he was drawing. It sounds kind of a weird or sort of way to work, but that's honestly how it worked. So it's very much, I've wanted since day one for the artwork to be the face of the band. So I think I'm as equally inspired by what he does as I am he, which is a great way of working.
So what's in store next? What's coming in 2012 for you guys?
A number of projects, actually. We're looking at releasing another album, hopefully in the winter this year. We've got another collection of cartoon cover themes that we one of the first, actually was the first album of the 12 EPs in 12 months was a collection of underappreciated cartoon themes from the 80s. And so we're doing another collection due to popular demand.
Give me a couple of examples. I'm a child of the 80s too, so.
Oh, okay, great. The first album had songs from the Transformers movie, which is the main theme that was played during the death of Optimus Prime. There was an old show, I don't know if you remember, The Mysterious Cities of Gold. Yeah, so that was the idea initially, to try and show show people how amazing some of this music was. I used to watch a lot of cartoons on the ABC in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. And what else was on there? There was Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea. Astro Boy. Actually, it was the closing theme to Astro Boy. So the new album will continue in that tradition, sort of looking at some of the more obscure themes that were a big inspiration to both myself and to Andrew, the artistic guy behind Toehider.
Any chance of a short hop over to Hobart for you guys?
Yeah, well, we'd love to. There's a band that we I don't know if they're still in existence, called The Third Ending, which are very much like a Porcupine Tree kind of styled band that we'd love to do some work with. Yeah, we need to get over to Hobart really soon. We haven't played Hobart. We haven't played Western Australia or the Northern Territory. So that would be on the cards. Particularly Hobart, because it's so close to home, you know.
Mike Mills, thanks very much for chatting with me, and look forward to catching a show sometime.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.